Okay, so today we're going to be switching gears. We're going to be moving to division. So over the course of the next 3 to 4 math periods, we will be progressively getting harder. Today is going to be the easiest of the four, and you'll see why in just a little bit. You're in book 5, and you're going to be on page 67, and that's the only page that you'll be turning in today. So we will be using long division. Okay, so it says just listen. Long division is another method for calculating quotients. It relies on place value to perform and record division. Place value is going to be key. This is why I've been trying to make you understand it this whole time. So when we use long division, we work from left to right. That's important to know. And we work with one digit at a time. And that's the harder part for kids to understand is you just need to kind of take it step by step and work it out. Now, the main key to this is keeping everything lined up. In the classroom, usually I would give you graph paper, and that's how you would keep everything in line. But we're going to do our best with what you have here today. So what's important to know is really this. As long as you understand how to do that, you're going to be successful with everything we do with decimals the next 4 classes. But basically what they're telling you it's very wordy. I won't read it all, but they want you to start with the hundreds and then the tens and then the ones. Now, the beauty of today is going to be that you will always end up with a remainder of 0. As we go into the harder parts, meaning next class and the next, we're going to have remainders and decimals and a lot of other things that are going on. But today's just going to be, honestly, a quick review on how to divide. That's really what we're refreshing. So I started you out with something very easy. It's not in the book. I just wanted to go over a couple things with you before we begin. So I know most of you know the answer to that. You don't need to work it out. For most of you, it's silly. But I just wanted to kind of focus on the why. Why is 2 divided by 6? Why is that 3? Right? And technically speaking, most of you know this because you know your multiplication facts. Now, for the rest of you, you just need to understand that you technically can always work these out. So 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. When you subtract, you get 0. So your answer's 3. We know that, right? That's baby stuff. Now, another thing I want to know, I gave you a little bit harder of a problem, but really it's not. Most of you know this off the top of your head, but we'll go over it. So now you're always going to focus on the one that's most to the left. So I'm not going to do 4 into 96 because I don't want to count by 4s forever, right? I don't want to do that. So focus on a number that it does go into, and you know it off the top of your head. Well, 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8, and you get a 1. Well, now you need to bring down your 6. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16, and you get a 0, so your answer is 24. Okay, so now we're in our books, and it's going to get a lot harder than this, but those are just some easy examples to start you out on how it works. So you're on, again, page 67, like I said. That'll be the only page that you turn in for the day. So we have Lynn. They set you up in number 1, and I skipped it. The focus is long division, right? That's the method that she's using. That's the method. That's the topic of today. So we're going to be working these out. So you're on number 2 for A. And then I have mine spread out because I'm working them out for you. So 3 divided by 846. So remember, I said to always start on the leftmost one. Okay, and then you're going to work your way over. So 3 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. When you subtract, you get 2. Now you need to bring down your 4. Okay, well, 2 goes into 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, well, there's one more that you haven't accounted for. We need to do every single digit, and that's the ones. We need to deal with the ones, right? So 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract, get 0. So your answer is 282. So please make sure you write down everything in purple in your book. Okay, same page, but now we're going to work out B. Now here's something that you need to know. 4 does not go into 1. So I'm not going to start there because it doesn't go into that. But I do know that it goes into 18. So that's going to be my start. I'm going to start in the hundreds, not the thousands right now. Okay, so 4 goes into 18 4 times. Now, because I'm dealing with the 8 or the hundreds place, I am going to make sure that my 8 and my 4 are lined up because that can mess you up later. So you always want to keep everything very in line, like I said before. Okay, so 4 times 4, that's 16. And then I get 2. Then I need to bring down my 1. That's a 1. So 4 goes into 21 5 times. And then 5 times 4 makes 20. When you subtract, you get a 1. So now I need to bring down my 6. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16, and you get 0. So your answer is 454. Please make sure that you write everything down that you see in purple. Okay, and then this will be the last one for this little part. And we're going to be dealing with C. Now, this is going to be a little bit bigger. Okay, now 12 doesn't go into 7, but it does go into 76. So you need to make sure that when you place your number, you're dealing with the tens. Okay, so 12 goes into 76 6 times. 6 times 12 is 72. When you subtract, you get 4. Well, 12 doesn't go into 4, but it does go into 48. How many times? The answer is 4. 4 times 12 is 48. Subtract and get 0. So your answer should be 64. So please make sure that you wrote that down. And you're on the same page. I'm just moving down. So 10-3, 67, we're going to find the quotient for each of those. So I have it already set up here. So A, so 3 goes into 6. It does go into 6. So we're going to start there. It goes in twice. 2 times 3 is 6. When you subtract, you get 0. You're going to bring down your 3. Well, 3 goes into 3 once. 1 times 3 is 3. And when you subtract, you get 0 again. Well, now you need to bring down your 3 again because 3 doesn't go into 0, but it goes into 3 one time. And when you get 3, you end up with 0. So your answer for that one is 211. Okay, so now for letter B. 7 into 1001. Now 7 doesn't go into 1, but it goes into 10. So I'm going to focus on the hundreds place. So 7 goes into 10 once. So I'm going to make sure that's lined up right above that hundreds. 1 times 7 is 7. And you end up with 3. When you subtract, you got to bring down your 0. So 7 goes into 30 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. And then you should end up with 2. Now you're going to bring down your 1. And 7 goes into 21 evenly 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. And you end up with 0. So please make sure you write all that you see in purple. You should be working all of these out the same way that I did when I grade your notes. Here's our last one. It says, here's her calculation. Priya wrote 320 for the value of 906 divided by 3. Check her answer by multiplying by 3. So if I did this 320 times 3, if she did it correctly, you should get 906. Well, 320 times 3 is actually 960. So she made an error somewhere, and we got to find her mistake. Okay, so we're just going to check her math like I would you, right? So 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. We end up with 0. Now then she says, well, this 3 goes into this 0 2 times. And that is wrong. This actually should be a 0. Right? So there's her error. You can just kind of copy it right there. That 2 should be a 0. That was her first error. And then obviously from there, she has more errors because the first part was wrong, right? So her error is right there. So just make sure you have somewhat of what I have in purple. Join the meet and turn in your notes and we'll do a practice.